I'm not sure if I would have done that, but...
Marvin, you're naked.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone all the way. I wasn't going...
You went all the way when you took your clothes off, just about.
Do the predators of TCAP deserve happy endings? Before you answer, if you don't know what happened to this predator after he walked out of the Fort Myers Dateline stinghouse, you should know that Marvin Lakhan has, in my opinion, one of the most frustrating updates of all the men captured on the show.
A perverted justice decoy is playing the part of a 14-year-old named Cindy. She's talking to this man, Marvin Lakhan, screen name Crazy Trini 85. They met in an online chat room. Cindy tells him she's a virgin, and he sends her a picture of his genitals.
While his confrontation with Chris Hansen was memorable, Marvin, aka Crazy Trini 85, is one of the more forgotten offenders at TCAP, mainly because someone else had already beaten him to the naked pedo gig. We're going to look at his chat log, his arrest, his unlikely punishment, why he became a wanted fugitive in the state of Florida in 2013, and what he is up to today. I present this unsung zero introduced during the Fort Myers sting on May 17, 2006. From instantly smitten to chasing around a kitten, let's talk about Marvin J. Lakhan, unsung zero, number 6. Born July 19, 1985, Marvin Lakhan of Coconut Creek, Florida, was a 22-year-old college student studying to be a pediatrician when he was caught in the Dateline sting. Lakhan lied about his age, claiming to be 20 years old, and after just a few minutes of chatting with the decoy, Cindy Loves to Dance, the conversation quickly turned felonious.
Crazy Trini 85 asks her if she'll try anal sex and adds, it's better than regular sex. Then he asks her if she has a jacuzzi.
I'm a you in there. And on your mom's bed?
Why not my bed?
That too. I'm a you in every room, so no matter where you go, you'll remember me.
That is a lot of boasting for someone who would go on to ask the decoy to help him out with money.
You gonna help me out with gas?
Fortunately for Marvin, if he can manage to get himself to the sting house, they have a ride waiting to take him exactly where he needs to go. He also didn't plan on using condoms because his education as a medical student taught him how to not get a female pregnant.
I'm in med school. I know how to time it according to your period.
He also told her he wanted it raw.
Raw?
Condoms? No, honey. You're gonna take it raw.
What's that?
No rubber.
Groomers will often use pets as a way to earn the trust of their victims, but Marvin had something else in mind when he asked the decoy if she had any pets.
Next, he asks her if she has any pets. Cindy says she has a male cat, and you won't believe what Crazy Trini 85 asks next.
You know what would be a huge turn on for me?
What?
He wants to watch her perform a sex act on a cat. He says people do it all the time.
No, Marvin, people don't do it all the time. Cat fuckers do it all the time. Interesting fact, when Marvin was on the phone with the decoy, he was chatting with a member of Perverted Justice named Duncan Hines, posing as the 14-year-old. Duncan Hines is, of course, an American baker's brand best known for their cake mixes. And what goes better with cake than Cool Whip?
They discuss it further on the phone, where he tells her they'll need Cool Whip.
After just 2 hours of chatting, Marvin was on his way to meet Chris Hansen, and America would be meeting his blurred penis.
The decoy says she'll try it if he's willing to strip off all his clothes and walk into her house naked.
That's him right there. He's pulling in the driveway.
Who knows how many of the men Perverted Justice asked to get undressed when they came into the sting house? But out of more than 200 men captured on TCAP, only 2 of them actually did.
I just came to get something to eat.
John.
That's elite level perversion on a show full of elite level pervert.
There's like a green thing over the back door.
The decoy keeps talking to him as he walks up the driveway.
I'm gonna find my cat quick, okay? Just strip in there and I'll be out with the cat. Alright?
He's coming around.
Okay, yeah, like whatever you want. I guess totally naked, because that was the deal, right?
To help me out with the play-by-play on Marvin's nude sit-down with Chris, I'm joined by Haze from Haze's Movie Room. Haze does movie reviews, gaming, a Geek and Internet Culture podcast, and more, and he's linked in the description. He had actually never seen an episode of To Catch a Predator before, so I wanted to get a reaction from fresh eyes.
This is a man who apparently sticks to a deal. He walks in the back door, takes off all his clothes in the laundry room, and goes in search of the decoy.
Where are you?
So here's the thing, I don't know much about this show, but I do know To Catch a Predator was a very popular series back in the day. So what really boggles the mind is, how can a show be that popular and EDP still thought it was okay to just go get a cupcake? Are you dumb?
Wait, just take a seat. Have a cookie. I made them because they'll go with the Cool Whip. It was kind of a little surprise.
You want to explain yourself? Grab that towel right there, please.
You see, at this point, Marvin should have been like, oh, I must have been sleepwalking again. Probably wouldn't have worked, but anyway, I ain't trying to body shame or nothing, but I'm pretty sure Marvin is part of the itty bitty PP committee. That blur is up way high.
Wrap it around yourself and please sit in that stool. What are you doing?
Making a mistake.
Making a mistake? What is going on in your mind? You don't know. Now, what do you think would have happened, Marvin, had I not been here and had there actually been a 14-year-old girl in that next...
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone all the way. I wasn't going...
You went all the way when you took your clothes off, just about.
This dude really said he wouldn't have gone all the way. Like turning up at a 14-year-old's house and stripping naked wasn't already going too far.
Then I ask him about the plans he talked about online for the cat.
You know what would be a huge turn on for me? What? Watching you blank him, meaning the cat. She says, I don't think I want to blank the cat. Would you for me? You're gonna make this 14-year-old girl perform a sex act on a cat.
To be fair, I can understand involving a cat. Cats are natural predators, though, you know, a very different kind of predator. But anyway, whether it's the cat or the girl, this guy trying to play with the wrong pussy.
Was that your plan?
It really wasn't.
Well, why did you say it then?
I was just messing around with it. I wasn't.
You're just
really
messing
serious.
around.
I really wasn't serious about the cat.
You gave her instructions about using Cool Whip. Very specific instructions. I mean, I can only imagine what would have been going on in this house. So what's going to be happening if I'm not here? You're naked, there's a 14-year-old girl, you're chasing a cat around, you've got Cool Whip, and you want this girl to do some sex act with the cat and then you'll have sex with her. Is that accurate? Yes.
Then Crazy Trini 85 asks for some water.
Some water?
Yes, please.
I saw that running around naked got you pretty dried out then, huh?
Remember to stay hydrated, people, especially when sweating under pressure after getting caught trying to solicit a 14-year-old girl.
Have you ever met any young girls online? First time?
Yeah, this is the first time, which will never happen again. I can tell you that.
The nearly naked man starts laughing.
So it's funny.
No, I'm just thinking it to myself that this will never happen again. This is not something, no. It's not right.
So you're promising me right now that you'll never...
I'm promising myself that I'm not...
Hook up with a 14-year-old girl online, tell her to have sex with a cat, and walk into her house naked.
Not even under 19.
Nah, you need to stay away from anybody under 95.
Now he's about to find out that he just made that promise on national television.
Well, there's something else you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet teens online.
Yes, sir.
Now, if there's anything else you'd like to say about this predicament you're now in, we'd love to hear it.
Just trust me, it'll never happen again.
And if there's nothing else you have to say, then you're free to walk out that door where you stripped naked and walked in. You can keep the towel.
I'll just leave it in the laundry room.
That's fine.
You see, had he not stripped naked, he could have pulled out his own camera like, aha, I was actually filming my own documentary. But here's the thing, if he didn't realize this before, when that camera crew rolled out, he must have known then his life is all kinds of over. He can't go back to his job. Are you mad? He can't go hang with the boys. Right now, his dad is like, well, I guess I don't have a son anymore.
Once he gets his clothes back on, he walks outside and is arrested by that camouflaged officer.
Police on the ground! Marvin looks suspiciously calm right now for a man who is about to be tackled by Swamp Thing. Honestly, I think this is why Marvin has been mostly forgotten by so many. He's boring. I mean, he is booty butt ass naked, he had money for Cool Whip but not gas, and he is there to meet a child, but he seems almost unbothered by the whole thing. He's acting more like this will be a crazy story to tell his buddies one day instead of a life-altering event. I guess the other naked guy just wanted it more.
He's taken to the transfer station and searched.
So let me say this. If you're a pedophile or having strong, inappropriate feelings towards children, then get help. Seriously, no jokes, get help. There are places you can go. As for Marvin here, I really hope he fixed up and found some place where he can stay away from kids and cats and whipped cream.
After his arrest, Lakhan was charged with a felony count of attempted lewd or lascivious battery with the victim 12 to 15 years old. Because of his age and no prior criminal history, Lakhan was eligible for Florida's Youthful Offender Act. It took 2 years of fighting his case, but on May 2nd, 2008, Lakhan received a suspended prison sentence of 5 years after accepting a plea bargain. He was also placed on 5 years sex offender probation and was required to register as a sex offender for life. So just to make that clear, he had a disgusting conversation with someone he believed to be 14. He showed up after just 2 hours of chatting. He got naked and he brought Cool Whip to make a child perform acts with an animal. And he served 0 time in prison. It wasn't all for nothing though, as there was one consolation. A lifetime on the sex offender registry means Marvin will always carry that designation with him as a warning to others about who he is and what he did.
Only thing left for Marvin is to get plastic surgery, change his name, and move to another town. On a different planet, cause mate, you are done out here.
Unfortunately, that's not how it worked, and that lifetime on the registry for Marvin Lakhan would only be about 4 years. In 2012, Lakhan was deported to his home country of Trinidad, but someone forgot to tell the people in Lee County, Florida. When Lakhan failed to meet the terms of his sex offender probation because he had been removed from the actual United States, a warrant was issued for his arrest on April 19th, 2013. For anyone with a keen eye for detail, that is exactly 7 years and 1 day after he first contacted the perverted justice decoy. Those charges would of course later be dropped. Marvin is a lifetime registered sex offender in the US, but in his home country, he is free because there is no official sex offenders list for Trinidad. There is a privately run Facebook page that posts the information of sex offenders who were deported to Trinidad, and Marvin Lakhan is featured. His post has been shared 1,300 times, but in a country of over 1.5 million residents, even if every one of those shares were from someone in his home country, it is still just a tiny drop in a giant bucket. Who knows if the news even made it to South Trinidad, where Lakhan is reported to now reside. But we do know from Marvin's previously public Facebook page that his life has changed dramatically. And that brings us to what I believe is the most polarizing update of all the Predators. Sometime in 2020, Marvin Lakhan was married. Do his friends, family, wife, or maybe even children know about his past? Do they have pets? Is he working in healthcare or even as a teacher? Are they safe around Marvin, and for how long? Because I don't believe the 4 years he served on probation would have rehabilitated his depraved mind. To further illustrate my point, on that 2013 arrest warrant, his probation officer reported Lakhan stopped submitting his required monthly reports in 2010, a full 2 years prior to his deportation. That does not sound like a man who had learned his lesson or was taking his minimal punishment seriously. But maybe I'm wrong. I want to know what you think. Are you happy Marvin was able to seemingly start over with a new life? Or do you feel like justice wasn't properly served? At any rate, as of 2023, that's all we know about Marvin J. Lakhan, a sex offender for life in the US, but in Trinidad, he is just another guy. He wanted to do it raw, was a fugitive from the law, and proved that our legal system has a huge fucking flaw. His sick plan was thwarted, he couldn't afford it, asked the decoy for gas money, then his ass got deported. This piece of shit is Marvin Lakhan, just one of To Catch a Predator's many unsung zeros. Any questions?
These guys ain't no heroes. They suck. Unsung zeros. Unsung zeros. Unsung zeros. These guys are the worst.
Fuck you, Clobber.
I love it.